The storm rolled in without warning, swallowing the two-lane highway in sheets of rain. Emily Carter tightened her grip on the steering wheel, eyes straining against the blur of water and lightning that cracked open the sky. The only thing keeping her sane was Mia's laughter from the passenger seat, light and careless, cutting through the storm like a beacon. "Emily, relax," Mia said, leaning back, feet on the dashboard. "It's just rain. We'll be fine." Emily didn't answer. She hated storms, hated the feeling of being trapped on the road with nothing but black trees closing in around them. When the glowing neon letters appeared in the distance, Maplewood Motel, it felt like a small miracle. The sign flickered, buzzing against the rain, its glow half swallowed by fog. Finally, Emily muttered, turning into the cracked parking lot. Potholes reflected the red taillights like pools of blood. Inside the office, the smell of old paper and mildew made her stomach turn. A man sat behind the counter, skin sallow under the fluorescent light. He had a limp when he stood to fetch their key, and his watery eyes seemed to study them too long. "Room 6B, he said, sliding the brass key across. His voice was flat, like he'd repeated those words too many times. Mia snatched the key with a grin. "Perfect. Thanks." Emily tried to ignore the way the man's gaze followed them until the door creaked shut behind. Room 6B smelled faintly of smoke and something older, like the walls themselves were rotting from the inside. The wallpaper peeled in long strips, revealing plaster scarred by time. The bedspread was stiff, patterned with faded flowers. A single buzzing lamp painted the room in sickly yellow. Mia flopped onto the mattress, groaning. "Creepy, but it's not the worst place we've stayed." Emily smiled, finally loosening the knot in her chest. The storm outside hammered the windows, but inside, the two of them made jokes, scrolling through playlists, singing badly to drown the thunder. For a while, it felt almost cozy. But at some point, Emily drifted to sleep. She woke to silence. The other bed was empty. The sheets still tucked tight, untouched. Mia's bag was gone. "Mia?" Emily whispered, sitting up. The lamp still buzzed softly. The rain still lashed the glass. But the air felt wrong, too still, too heavy. She checked the bathroom. Empty. The door was locked from the inside, chain-latched. There was no way Mia had left without her noticing. Her chest tightened. She stumbled into the hallway, pounding on the manager's office door. "My friend's missing. Room 6B, please, you have to help me." The manager appeared in his robe, eyes dull with sleep. He stared at her for a long moment before speaking. "Miss, there is no room 6B. Emily's breath caught. "What? That's impossible. We checked in a few hours ago." He shook his head. "We have room 6A and 6C. Always have. Never a 6B. Her pulse pounded in her ears. She dragged him down the hallway, pointing frantically. But when they arrived, the door was gone. Where the brass number 6B had hung, there was only smooth wallpaper, seamless between 6A and 6C. "No," Emily whispered, her hands trembling as she pressed against the wall. "It was right here. I swear." Other guests peeked out of their doors, drawn by the commotion. A woman in a nightgown frowned at Emily. "Honey, I saw you arrive alone. You never had anyone with you." "That's not true." Emily cried. Her voice cracked. "Mia was here, she was with me." But their stares were filled only with confusion, pity, or quiet fear. By dawn, Emily was still awake, sitting in the lobby under buzzing lights. The police had come, taken her statement, searched the building. But their reports matched the others. There was no room 6B. There was no Mia Carter. There was only Emily, traveling alone. She begged them to check security cameras. The motel manager produced the tapes with reluctance. Grainy footage showed Emily entering the motel lobby, alone. Taking the key, alone. Walking down the hall, alone. Not once did the camera show Mia. Emily collapsed into tears. Her mind screamed that this was wrong, that something impossible was unfolding around her, but every piece of evidence told the same story: Mia had never been there. Unable to sleep, Emily wandered the hall again, her fingers tracing the seams in the wallpaper where the door had been. She pressed her ear to the wall, straining. A faint sound. A laugh. Mia's laugh. Her breath caught. She clawed at the wallpaper, ripping strips away until plaster dust choked her lungs. Beneath the paper, carved deep into the wall, were names. Dozens of them. Sarah. 1974. James. 1981. Laura. 1993. Each followed by a date. Each carved like a tombstone. Her stomach lurched when she found the most recent one, etched into the plaster in jagged lines. Mia Carter, March 14. Emily's scream tore through the silence. The motel owner found her slumped against the wall, nails bleeding, eyes wild. He knelt beside her, whispering a prayer under his breath. "The motel takes who it wants," he murmured, voice shaking. "Always has. Always will." Emily tried to stand, but the world spun. She staggered back to her car, fumbling with the keys. The sun had just begun to rise, turning the rain-slick asphalt into a mirror. She floored the gas pedal, heart racing as the motel shrank in the distance. But in the rearview mirror, the neon sign flickered one last time. Maplewood Motel. Maple. Motel. Empty. And in the glass, just behind her reflection, she swore she saw Mia sitting in the back seat, eyes hollow, lips whispering something she couldn't hear. Emily never spoke of that night again. But those who've stayed at the Maplewood Motel whisper about the lost room. Some say if you walk the hallway at midnight, you can hear laughter behind the wall. Others swear they've seen shadows moving where no door should be. And every so often, another name is carved deep into the plaster, another soul claimed by the room that doesn't exist.